Hello everyone. Welcome to Virtual Graduate Study Week in Kyushu University. Today is the last day of the week and the topic is Introduction of Graduate School of Engineering. Today is today's the session. So let me ask you to keep the muting and use the chat box when you have some questions during our presentation. After our presentation lasting for about 30 minutes, we will answer your questions from the chat box. By the way, my name is Chisato Niu from International Office and facilitating here. Also, I have some guests who are from Graduate School of Engineering. Here is Associate Professor Konomi Natalie and the two international graduate students, Mr. Po-In Kang and Mr. Tikito Manjunata. Okay, Professor Konomi, could you start your presentation for participants?
Yes, of course. Let me first share my screen. So, hello everyone, welcome. Thank you very much for joining this last day of the Virtual Graduate Study Week, where I will be introducing my graduate school, where I work as Associate Professor at the Graduate School of Engineering. My name is Natalie Konomi, and yes, here you see a beautiful picture of our university campus, Ito campus. Way in the back, you can see Fukuoka city. It's about 30-40 minutes away from our campus. And here, this area in the middle, this is the west area, and this is where you have most of the engineering classrooms and research labs, but we're also spread all over the campus. So yeah, just to give you an impression of our university campus. What's going to happen today? I'm going to give you a general introduction about Kyushu University and our Graduate School of Engineering. And then we have two students who will be introducing their experiences as master students and doctoral students here in Japan. And then hopefully we'll have time for some questions and answers. First of all, it never goes without a little bit of history. So Kyushu University was actually established in 1911. It started as a medical and engineering school. And here you see a beautiful picture of our old campus, Hakozaki, which doesn't exist anymore. And we're always very proud of a very famous visitor at that campus. If you look at the picture, you can see Dr. Einstein, Professor Einstein and his wife. They actually came in 1922. They took a very long trip on a boat to come to Japan. And as far as I know, on that boat, Professor Einstein was informed that he just won the Nobel Prize. So quite interesting story, I think. Where are we? We are located in Kyushu. Kyushu is in the south of Japan, and Fukuoka is in the north of Kyushu. And we are very, very central, as you can see on this picture, to Asia, which is why we always often are called the gateway to Asia, which has to do with our history between Fukuoka and its neighboring countries, but also because of the fact nowadays that we have very convenient airports, which we cannot use at the moment because of Corona. But hopefully soon we can all fly around the world again. A little bit about Fukuoka city. It's often ranked as one of the world's most livable cities because it's very modern and vivid on one hand, but on the other hand, you have a lot of tradition and culture that you can experience in Fukuoka city. And you have a lot of beautiful nature around, the ocean, the mountains, the forests, which a lot of them are located in Itoshima city. And now Itoshima city is a small town, and Ito campus is partly on Itoshima city, actually. And just last month, we were ranked actually in the British Monocle magazine as the third most livable small town in the world with Itoshima. So it's a perfect place to study, do research, and have a good life, I think. Living expenses in Japan. Here on the right-hand side in the bar, you can see the red bar shows the average monthly expenses within Japan. Usually it's about 82,000 Japanese yen. Good news, if you go to Kyushu, it's a little bit less. It's only 66,000 Japanese yen. So a little bit better than studying maybe in the more expensive places. What are the 5 key points of Kyushu University if I had to summarize? Of course, the historical part is important. So it has a long tradition as the 4th oldest university in Japan, and founded in 1911. It's one of the premier national 7 universities, which means within the Japanese universities, it's still the top of the top, has been and is still top of the top. We are a large-scale comprehensive university, which means we do a lot of cross-interdisciplinary research and education, something that is a must nowadays. Also, we're ranked within the world's top 0.5% in almost all rankings worldwide. So it's something that we are proud of, obviously. And we're a member of the Research University 11, which is a consortium of 11 national universities, top universities in Japan, research universities, who do a lot of joint research together, but not only on a national basis, but also worldwide. So again, very strong in research, which is, I think, for a graduate school, very important. To introduce some alumni, very famous is Professor Koichi Wakata. He's an astronaut. He's been to space 4 times and in total 11 months. And he was actually the first Asian commander of the International Space Station, something to be proud of. And I think later on we will hear that one of the students has actually met him. I haven't, so. We have, for example, Professor Morita. He's a physicist, nuclear physicist, and his team actually discovered and synthesized the element 113, the atomic symbol NH, nihonium, because it originated in Japan. So also something that's often mentioned. I mentioned that we do a lot of research, so world level research covers many areas in our university. Some that we put focus on would be, for example, research in carbon neutral energy. So emission-free energy is one goal. Then we have the Fuel Cell Research Center, which has to do with anything related to, for example, the hydrogen car. Then we have the organic photonics and electronics research, which covers, for example, organic LEDs, well, OLEDs. And then we have the Institute of Applied Mechanics. Here we discovered, for example, or made the very compact turbine lenses, for example, just to mention a few. Also to show you, our hydrogen research is very top level, and our campus has many, many research facilities in this area. We do have a hydrogen station. We do have hydrogen cars driving around a little bit. Unfortunately, not for private use. So yeah, we cannot use the hydrogen station for our cars or anything. Then regarding environment, as I mentioned, the new wind lens turbines, but also organic solar cells, for example, would just be research examples in our graduate school. I mentioned as well the organic EL, so the OLEDs as another example, just to briefly show you what's going on. Other things would be in the medical field, for example, walking assistive suits or the blood flow sensor chip, as other examples as well. I think I've given you more than enough examples now. Our university, of course, doing so much research, we also have top-class research facilities and instruments. For example, the ultra high voltage TEM. Now this, I think there are only 4 in Japan, I heard, but I'm not 100% sure, so I might be lying here. But still very high level research equipment. So when you come as a graduate student, you get the chance to work with these equipments to do your research in a proper way. So I think that's also a good motivation to come to Japan and to Kyushu University. We do have a number of international graduate programs now, which are mostly in English language, of course. So I would like to introduce briefly how our graduate school is structured and what kind of programs are available in English language. So from next year, actually, our departments have been a little bit rearranged. So we have from next year 11 departments in total. So that would be applied chemistry, chemical engineering and materials, 3 departments, then civil engineering, naval architecture and ocean engineering, Earth Resources Engineering, Cooperative Program for Resources Engineering, and the Applied Quantum Physics and Nuclear Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Hydrogen Energy Systems, and Aeronautics and Astronautics. So in these 11 departments, we offer a variety of English graduate programs, which are to get your master's degree, which will usually take 2 years, or your doctoral degree, which will usually take 3 years. So the programs that I list here on the right-hand side are those programs. For example, in civil engineering, in the department, you can choose between 2 programs in civil and structural engineering or urban and environmental engineering, for example. The only thing, the cooperative program for resources engineering is the only program that's available as master's program only. All the other programs are for master and doctoral programs. If you have interest in one of these, you can find a lot of information on our website. Yeah, just a little bit of atmosphere pictures. About enrollment and tuition fees. So I guess some of you already heard about it, but I'm gonna explain anyway. So the enrollment fee for master and doctoral students is the same for any national university in Japan. It's 282,000 yen, which is about $2,700 US. If you think about coming as a research student, which means you are not a full enrolled student and you can be a research student for just a few months, the enrollment fee is a little bit cheaper, of course. The annual tuition fee is as well the same for master and doctoral students and the same for all national universities with 535,800 Japanese yen, which is about $5,100 US. And for research students, if you're interested in that, you will have to pay a monthly fee. So that would be 29,000 Japanese yen. Everybody has to pay an application fee when you want to apply for a university, which will not be refunded even if you don't make it. So that will be 30,000 Japanese yen for master and doctoral students, and for research student, it's 9,800 yen. Now, regarding the annual tuition fee, there is exemption of tuition fee available. So you can always check if you're eligible for applying for that. Then when are the application periods? So if you're interested in a master or doctoral program, or even as a research student, it's very similar. For example, for April admission, the application period would be in January. And for October admission, it would be in May of the same year, which also includes that's the time for exams, but that depends again on each program. So you have to check with which program you're interested in detail. What do you need to apply for the program? Now, this also depends on the programs itself, so it's always important to check, but I prepared a little summary of it. For the master's program, you first of all have to get in contact with your possible supervisor, check who you might be interested in doing research with. You have to contact the chairperson of the international program then, fill in the application forms, then also the examination admission card. Then in some cases, you have to register for some optional subjects in advance. You have to prepare your official academic transcripts, of course, your graduation certificates, and you have to also show some proof of English language. So that might be TOEIC, TOEFL, IELTS, or ESOL. Now, this also depends again on each program. So make sure to check what kind of tests they expect or certificates they expect. For the doctoral program, it's the same. You need basically the same information as for the master's program, plus your research achievements and a copy of your master thesis. And in some cases, you of course need a research plan. So that's about what kind of documents you would need to apply. Scholarship information, a lot of people ask about scholarships, of course. There are a number of scholarships available. Most are available or you can apply for after you enrolled. One that we always like to point out is the mixed Japanese government scholarship. It's the most competitive one, but it's definitely the best scholarship ever to get. It's a full scholarship where the tuition is waived, your enrollment fee is waived, you'll get your round trip air ticket, and you get a monthly payment of 147,000 yen for master students or 148,000 yen for doctoral students. You can Google a lot of information about Kyushu University scholarships also. So yeah, take a look around, and afterwards you can also ask questions during the Q&A if there's more question on scholarships. Housing is in general also available. We have a number of dormitories on campus. The largest one is the Ito Harmony House, which is on campus, but it feels really far away because you have to walk 15 minutes, but it's still nice. The rent is usually between 16,000 Japanese yen and 26,000 Japanese yen, depending on which kind of room you get. There are also a couple of rooms or family rooms available. Now, not everybody is eligible for the housing, of course. So whatever happens, the university always helps the international students to find housing. So even if it's private housing, so there's no need to worry too much about it. There's always a way to find good and not too expensive housing. If you want more information or want to download the application instructions for admission, you can do this on our website of our Graduate School of Engineering, or you can also email the Student Affairs Division. From my side, this is all on general information. So I think I've used enough of your time on that one for now. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will hand over now to Kan-san to present about his experience as a master student in chemical engineering. I'm going to stop my slides right now.